come all the way from UK, born in Karachi, Pakistan, working for the real human rights, not like a fictitious human rights. When today we talk about this word has become a biggest joke when we talk about human rights. Like, anybody jumps on, but the human rights with one eye or human rights with two eyes, because humans are everywhere. What we are seeing it is happening in Bangladesh. No mainstream leaders are able to see that. We are just seeing it how things are happening in Pakistan. Nobody is talking about that. We are seeing it what's happening in other parts of the world. But when it comes to an issue that becomes so you've been involved into this almost now more than 3+ decades, and you have seen it firsthand, faced it also. When we talk about it, your parents born in Bharat, India, and then they moved 1947 partition that they have seen. So how they were treated in that country where the partition happened. Let's start from that, and then we'll move to your individual journey and what you're seeing it. What do we see as in future?
Well, my parents they migrated, but the love of the place where they spent their childhood. My father in a village Ajak, from where we are Ajakia. So Ajak in Gujarat, Junagadh district. My mother in from Batwa. So they always used to talk about India and their birthplaces with very affection, with very emotions. And the hatred that in Pakistan is taught generally to against Hindus and against Indians, we did not get it from our parents because they loved their country, and in some circumstances they had to move. So yeah, they always miss their place of birth, and we got a love and emotional contact with India. And then we moved to Saudi Arabia, where my father was working. I spent very strict Islamic life in Saudi Arabia. We performed 7 Hajj, hundreds of Umrahs, and then for further education, me and my sister and my mother, we moved to Pakistan. My father stayed there back. And we had this kind of discrimination against migrants who came from India to Pakistan, the Muslims, the rightful citizens.
Muhajir, right?
For example, when I went to make domicile certificate for my college admission, and the first question I was asked that, where were you born? I said Karachi. Okay, where was your father born? I said Indian. Ah, so you are Indian. I said no, we are Pakistani by birth, and no, you have to bring certain documents. And then these kind of things, a kind of discrimination against muhajirs, against the migrants. And still we did not feel anything, because in Pakistan there is a very strict way of communication, information, and education, that we cannot study certain subjects. Like Mahmud Ghaznavi was a hero for us, all of us, for me also personally. But one day in Belgium, later in my life, I read somewhere that Somnath, the mandir which was attacked 17 times, was hardly 25 kilometers from my ancestral village. So a thought came that Mahmud Ghaznavi, his people used to rape our ancestral women, our men were killed, our areas were ransacked. So suddenly a kind of guilt came that what kind of education we are giving to our children, that our invaders and who attacked us and who did so many violent things against us, and we are taught that Muhammad bin Qasim is your hero, Mahmud Ghaznavi. So more attachment came to Somnath, and I said that one day I will go to Somnath to seek pardon. So life goes on. I left Pakistan at the age of 20 in 1984. It's 40 years now I'm in Pardes. And I got attached to United Nations in 1994, and I used to fight for rights of muhajirs in Pakistan, and I used to lobby at United Nations that we are facing human rights violations because military operation was going on in Karachi against muhajirs who were asking for rights, and 25,000 youth were killed. Nobody is speaking about it. So I used to lobby at United Nations. Later on, I took up all the issues of Pakistan, like Balochistan, their rightful journey to independence, Pakhtun issue, At one hand, they are branded as terrorists. On the other hand, they are the biggest victim of terrorism. So these kind of issues I started raising. Nobody speaks about minorities in Pakistan. What kind of behavior, what kind of treatment they are given in Pakistan is horrible. So this is my
And that's even
journey.
happening to the second generation, those who were born there. They were born there. You were a born Pakistani citizen, if I'm asking you. Would you please verify that?
Oh yes, there is a part of constitution. There is a quota system in Pakistan. In Sindh, there is double quota. In entire Pakistan, there is single quota. In Sindh, there is rural and urban quota. Because in cities of Sindh, it is Muhajirs who live, and the villages, Sindhis live, majority. So there is a rural and urban quota. For example, in Karachi, for a government job, there are seat allocations. 40% for rural Sindh, 20% for Punjab, while in Sindh, Karachi, 20% for. So certain categories, we get 10% jobs in Karachi where we are in majority. This is a kind of marginalization. The same thing goes for government jobs, for government institutes like colleges and universities, there are quota. Now, when I passed my matriculation, my friend who was from interior Sindh, he had 47%. He got admission in a very reputed college. When I went there, I had 53%. They said no, for Muhajirs it is 60%. So this kind of basic discrimination, then we are not trusted. Although it is Muslims of India who migrated to Pakistan, they were those who struggled for Pakistan movement, along with Punjabi army, and Pakistan became a reality. But since Bangladesh, East Pakistan was more in population, so they needed muhajirs. The Punjabi army needed muhajirs. So they were part and parcel, they were partners in crime in Pakistan from 47 till 71. But after Bangladesh became independent, so Punjab did not need muhajirs. So now we were not trustworthy. You are Indian agent. You are from India. Your relationship with is India. These kind of things in daily life occur. And yeah, this is it.
71 to now, we are just seeing it 2024, what is happening, and this is a Nobel laureate who was a puppet to the Western Hemisphere, and he's been made to run that itself is it's a biggest joke. What he has done, because once and then again the question comes from the girl named Malala. I would like you to put a light on that, please.
Well, you see, empires have certain far-sighted policies to extend their rule over the world. So, current biggest empire is United States, and they groom leadership in certain areas, especially in Middle East and South Asia. In India, they don't get chance, although there are some opposition leaders who are in close contact with American think tanks who are working against India, and they are Western groomed leaders. And in Pakistan, they groomed Benazir Bhutto. She was champion of democracy. She studied at Oxford, and so goes on. Now they have handed over Nobel Peace Prize to a girl, Malala Yousafzai. What is her contribution? Nobody knows. Because Taliban fired on her and she got a bullet. Tens of thousands of people are killed by Taliban and you in this region. And girls' education, what did she do? She is going to Hollywood. She has become celebrity, going to big celebrity. She is going to all sports events like Olympic and World Cup and this. She is multimillionaire now, a poor girl. She said first thing after Nobel Peace Prize that one day I would like to become Prime Minister of Pakistan. So these are the grooming of leadership in South Asia especially. For example, in Sri Lanka, and in Afghanistan, they left $80 billion hathiyar arms
Which has
for.
been used
Yeah, they could have taken it, delayed peace process 1 month so that they could take back things, but no, purposefully they were. So this region is of particular attention of Western ecosystem, and they rule these countries Like Pakistan, army is an agent of America. We believe it, and they run things on dictation of America. And Pakistan is ruled by army, be it democracy or be it direct martial law. After Musharraf time, if we speak, after say 2007 till 2024, 17 years of democracy. What kind of democracy? They wanted Imran Khan as a prime minister. They brought him, and they continued ruling. But after 4 years, Imran Khan had illusion that he has a public popularity. So I will overthrow army, and the continuous rule of army over Pakistan will be thrown away. So he started confronting army chief General Bajwa, and things went on, and army did not like it. So they changed him. Now, this time in 2024 election, Imran Khan was popular, most popular leader of Pakistan. He got maximum votes. He won elections with two-third majority. But army changed the results. And now Nawaz Sharif's brother Shehbaz Sharif is their favorite agent. So in Pakistan, army is the one who rules everything, and we don't expect any change in Pakistan.
Coming back to when we talk about the human rights, that the human rights violation. So why even the United Nations? Because we don't see that they've been doing justice to. Because if they are supposed to, what was the reason that United Nations were made? Because they also, it's a very convenient for them. Sometimes it takes for them years to speak out on certain things unless or until so much of pressure. So it's a complete failure at this point of time if we just see that. We need to have a reforms in the UN also.
Well, United Nations is the most hypocrite organization of the world. We always say that why United Nations is not taking action. What is United Nations? First we have to see it. United Nations is a group of entire countries of the world. So who takes action? These countries. They have agenda. Now, for example, there is a huge occupation in China of East Turkestan Uyghur people. Gross violations of human rights are committed against them. Have you ever heard anything? But if a small part of world becomes important, they run over it. For example, in 1997, I was sitting in United Nations, and there was a person beside me, and he tried to contact people to lobby. So I said hello, and he said, I am Prime Minister of East Timor. I said, what is East Timor? He said, we are asking independence from Indonesia. I said, okay. Never heard about it. Next year on TV, when I was living in Belgium, I heard that there is a new country, independent country, East Timor, became member of United Nations. And that man who said, I am Prime Minister, he became Foreign Minister of East Timor, Jose Ramos Horta. Now, East Timor was on their agenda, so became independent. Balochistan, Uyghur, Kurdistan.
Yeah, because we are seeing it so much. People are coming. It's so much of every day you see how people have been killed, butchered, but nobody's talking about them.
Well, United Nations is agenda based. Now, for example, which country in the world where Muslims are killed majority? Pakistan. Most Muslims are killed in Pakistan more than any other country. Who is killing? Muslims. Killers are Muslim, killed are. Have you ever heard about it? Have you ever heard anything from State Department or any think tank or major United Nations? No, nobody speaks about it.
What about the radicalization of that?
But if there is a minority person in India and he is attacked, minor attack maybe, entire world will be speaking. So it is always agenda based. Pakistan is their darling. Pakistan is their illegitimate child. They will always protect Pakistan. They need Pakistan in this region, and Pakistan is most obedient servant of the West. So they need Pakistan.
On the concluding note, let's talk about the very recent what is going on in Bangladesh. 1971, and GDP was doing so good. We're talking about just 2 weeks. You've just seen it, what has happened from here to there.
Well, again, I will say that it is designs. There is a man called Donald Lu. He is Assistant Secretary of State for South Asia, United States. He brought change in Pakistan. He asked the general to remove Imran Khan. Cypher case is famous for him. He went to Dhaka in December or November last year and asked Hasina Wajid for certain things to give support in elections. But they
She
said that
refused.
Hasina Wajid refused to come on dictation like
And she
Pakistan.
came with thumping majority.
And she won,
Uh-huh.
and for them, this was not democracy. Democracy is when the government elected is under their own dictation. So they brought change in Bangladesh. They tried to affect Indian elections also. And the Western investment was too much on Indian election. They tried many things and they succeeded in some parts. So this region is very important. We are seeing, we are foreseeing a war, imminent war between Iran, because now which are the biggest terrorist groups? Hamas, Hezbollah, ISIS, all are based in that region. So, and who is supporting them? Houthis of Yemen, Iran. So we foresee that there will be a war between Iran and Israel or whatever. What will be the role of the regional other Arab countries, that we have to see. But Pakistan is on the border of Iran. For supply of logistic, this, that, they will need Pakistan. Same thing with China. Pakistan has very good relationship with China. But if suppose there is a war between China and America, we know where Pakistan will be standing. American forces will be landing on Pakistani shores and going by road logistic and everything. So yes, Pakistan is very important for them. If it is with Middle East issues or South Asia, India has a potential of becoming a superpower. India had already always a potential, but they tried to stop India by dividing in this and that, and now again they are saying that India's speed of progress is very much. And if after 25 years or 50 years, maybe India will be number two more than China, or even number one more than America in GDP, in economy, in military power, the way India is progressing. So they want a change in India, or they want that India behaves the way United Kingdom behaves, because
Divisive politics.
exactly. So there is a dangerous game going on in the region, and Ukraine-Russia war is already 2 years old now. So this is also the ingredient for a super war or world war or whatever. But we are in very much danger. The region in particular.
I really appreciate your time. You came here and gave us some time. We are very thankful, and at least we pray to God that somebody like you are always working for the cause, for the true causes. Dhanyawad aapka.
Thank you very much for coming, and it was pleasure talking to you, ma'am.